Good morning. Welcome to Asher and Turning Time. To Perek Chavtes. The Novi begins, Hoy Ariel, Ariel. So Ariel is a lion, a crouching lion. It's like, that there's by a campfire, there's something called like a burning man. A burning man is like it's like a dancing flame. It's like in the flame you see a burning man. It's like the story of the Rebbe Ramaylich where he wanted to see the Baal Shem Tov, and then he saw on top of the mountain like this vision of a fiery man. And that's where I think they made the Rebbe Ramaylich's tzion. That's why they have that cage over that spot. Anyway, on the Beis Hamikdash, on the Mizbeach, the fire that came down on the Karbonos, I guess because of the position of an animal, it looked like a crouching lion. That crouching lion is called Ariel. So the Navi says, Hoi, Ariel, Ariel, oi, oi. On the altar on the Mizbeach, which is called Ariel, Ariel, Kiryas Chana David. In the Kiryah, in the village or in the city where David HaMelech used to rest, there's not going to be any more the Ariel or the fiery lion which is going to bring sacrifice. Sufu Shonu Al Shono Chagim Yinkoifu. What's going to happen is that the sin is going to pile up year after year. All of the sacrifices, the karbonos, are going to be cut down. And there's going to be a sort of a tzukah. Trials and tribulations are going to come onto Ariel, onto Yerushalayim, which was called Ariel. Jerusalem was called Ariel because of the Mizbeach that was there, that was called Ariel. And the entire city is going to become an Ariel. Which really means that in life, either you're going to bring sacrifice, or you're going to become a sacrifice. It's either you're going to sacrifice or go through the process. Really, what sacrifice? There's a purpose to why we're here in the world. Sacrifice is really a microcosm of everything that we're here for. It's here to elevate the world, or how to take scenario situations in our lives and turn it into teachers, and turn it into healings, and turn it into connectors, into higher, elevated spaces of consciousness. That's really what it all boils down to. If you don't have the process in place to bring karbonos, to elevate yourself, to translate situations, to take your chatoim and turn it into teachers you ever saw my line? I never lose, I either win or learn. That means if you don't take your losses and turn it into either wins or learns, you're stuck with the losses. You're stuck with the losses means you become the Ariel. You become the sacrifice. It's either you cover ground or the ground covers you. So Chanisi Kadur Olayach, I'm going to surround you. Kadur means like a kadur, like a circle. Vitzarti Olayach Mutzov. I'm going to set up this tower. Vakimoisi Olayach Mitzuros. And I'm going to put a siege upon you. These are all descriptions of what happens when you don't do the inner work or the community work. This is what it looks like. Again, it's extremely difficult Pirakim in Yeshayahu. I don't know how we made it all the way down to Perek Chavtes. I'm still praying that we should make it all the way down to Perek Mem. Every Perek over here it's abstract and it's difficult to translate the words. V'shafalt me'eretz tidaberi. And when the enemy is going to come upon you, v'shafalt, you're going to go into a place of shiflos, humiliation, down, zero covered, me'eretz tidaberi. It's going to seem like you're speaking from the ground, me'yafor tishach, im roseich. It's going to look like you're speaking from the dust. It's going to be like the bones of the oivi adoinim, like people who speak from bones of the dead. Koilech And you're going to pray to me chirping like birds. That means this big mighty guy, who's a big macho guy, he brought down to his hands and knees. And he's going to be chirping. His voice is going to be like the chirps. Chirping for help. You're going to go all the way from the top down to the lowest level. But you know when you're going to reach that place and you're going to get down on your hands and knees. Suddenly all the problems are going to be like this dust, this thin dust. Everything is going to be dispersed. It's going to be like moitz, like chaff that the wind blows away. It's going to happen suddenly. After the Yiddelech, we're going to return back to Hashem. The Yeshua is going to come. And from God you're going to be, Hashem is going to save you. This refers to the story of Sancheiriv, where suddenly they were struck down and their enemies just disappeared. And those that are going to come to Yerushalayim, they're going to think they're going to be able to conquer it, but it's going to be like a vision of a dream, Laila, like somebody who's dreaming at night. When he gets up in the morning, he's going to see that it wasn't the way he assumed it to be. It was only a dream. So to all of the nations, the ones who are laying siege against Yerushalayim, all those that are trying to cause trouble to Yerushalayim. Imagine somebody who's starving, he's in Auschwitz, and he's dreaming how he's eating this delicious meal. And then he wakes up, he realizes that what he was eating was only a dream, but he's still hungry and empty within. Just like a dream, somebody who's thirsty is dreaming of how he's drinking water, and then he wakes up and he's the same thirsty as he was before. And his soul is yearning for water, but he can't get it. So too is going to be all of the nations, all of the Goyim are going to be trying to perpetuate or to do evil to Yerushalayim. They're going to be woken up realizing that everything they tried to do didn't accomplish anything. And now the Navi continues and he gives Musa on those that listen to the false prophets. And he says, Ismamu Usmohu. Dwell a little, meditate, sit a little, and wonder. Be shocked on yourselves. Hishtashu Vishow. Those that became blind from seeing. Shachru, those that became drunk. Veloyoy, not from wine. No uveloish mishecha, those that are wobbling around, they're stumbling around, not from alcohol, not from beer. You're going after Nevi'ah Sheker and you're not listening to what God is saying. Ki nosach aleichem Hashem ruach tardemo. Because God covered you with a spirit of slumber, so you're not hearing. It means you're listening, but you're not deadheading. Vayatzem esanechem. You're closing your eyes not to see the message, only to see the false prophets. Esanaviyim v'esreshechem achoizim chisa. And the eyes of your seers, this is the choizim, got covered. Really what happens, what Nevi'ah Sheker is that there's always, Nevi'ah Sheker is trying to find false solutions to problems. That's really the difference between Nevi'ah Emes and Nevi'ah Sheker. Nevi'ah Emes are telling you that what's really happening is going on within you, and you have to fix within yourself in order for the situation to change. Nevi'ah Sheker are the ones who tell you, if you're going to do this and that, you're going to find external, he's going to give you solutions. Whoever gives you solutions to your problems from outside of you is Nevi'ah Sheker. Whoever gives you the solution from within yourselves is Nevi'ah Emes. Vatihilochem chozus hakol. And he says, you know, you're going to have all of these false prophets, and it's going to be kedivri hasefer hachosom. It's going to be like a sealed book. You're going to give it to somebody who knows how to read, somebody who can read. And you're going to tell them, could you read me what it says in this book? Or in the scroll? V'omar, the Yedei Sefer is going to say, Lo yuchal, I can't, because it's sealed. And that's what it's going to be like when all the messages are going to be right in front of you, but they'll be sealed. V'nitein ha-sefer ala shelo yadav ha-sefer. It'll be like giving it to someone who doesn't know how to read. Le'emor krono hazeh. V'amar lo yadati b'sefer. I don't know how to read. You're going to be struggling with. You're going to have sealed svarim that the message is within it, but you won't have anybody who can decipher and interpret it to you. Yomer Hashem. He says, why don't you want to read it? Yanki nigash hazeh, because this nation came to me. And they make believe like they're honoring me, but this is a very, very famous pasuk. You're only doing it lip service. You ever heard of lip service? This is where it comes from. You're giving me lip service. You just jumble the words. But your heart is distant from me. You make believe and you like show off as if you fear me. You're all religious, but it's mitzvahs anoshim ilumada. It's from rote. It's like you're robots. You've been trained to act a certain way and to say certain things and to make believe like you're feeling a certain way, but really you're out for lunch. V'tiyirasam oisi mitzvahs anoshim ilumada. Lachen, therefore, hidden Yosef lahafli as amazeh hafli v'fela. All these very famous psukim or phrases. In the Yosef la'afli as amazeh hafli v'fela. Like, wow, boom, boom. Vibes hafli v'fela. The of the chachmas chachama v'vinas nevoin of the starter. The wisdom and understanding is going to be hidden. Hoya mamiki me'avaya. Cries about those that don't see God's actions. Those that think that Hashem doesn't see what they're doing. Hoya mamikim Hashem lastere. Those that in their mind, mamikim in their head, they like justify that Hashem doesn't see this or Hashem doesn't notice that. Hoya b'machshach masayim. When they try to hide from me, who sees me? Who knows what I'm doing? So he says, seriously, you really think that God doesn't know? Hapchem, hafkechem. It's the exact opposite. Im kichoymer ayoytzeid ichoshev ki yoymer maaseh lo yiseu lo yasonu v'yetzer yoymer lo yoytzer lo yhaven. He says, the one who goes to the Creator and it says, you know, you didn't create me. Imagine this company who the guy set up. The company comes to him and tells him, oh, by the way, you didn't make me. It's a horrible, horrible thing. First of all, it's like the AI coming to the programmers and saying, "Ich bin klüger von dir." So the guy who makes the AI, who wrote the code for it, says, "Shoita, I wrote you the code that you should be able to think that you're an independent being." But the AI still thinks that it's an independent being on its own, and he says, "Hey, I created myself, or I evolved myself, I developed myself." That's what it's like, how we speak to God, and we come to God and say, "God." En es gaat me nicht, dass Gott uns geprogrammt ist, uns kämen suchen Gott. Es gaat me nicht, dass ist auch hinter dem. Oid ma'at mezor, very, very famous Lashonis. Oid ma'at mezor, noch ein bisschen. Shav levonen, a Carmel. Carmel liyari choshev, everything's going to become desolate again, and everything's going to be brought back into the natural state. It's going to revert back to its natural state, and we're going to start from scratch, Control Alt Delete. V'shamu b'yom ahu, and everyone is going to see on that day, ha'chirshim, those that are deaf, divrei sefer, those that stuff their ears up not to listen, and those that didn't want to see the writing, and they made believe that they're blind. Now the eyes of the blind are going to see. It's going to be, I see, says the blind man. And then all of the tzaddikim, and all of the humble ones are going to be full of joy. Ve'evyoinei Adam b'kedosh Yisrael. And all of the poor, b'kedosh Yisrael yagilu, all of the poor that trusted b'kedosh Yisrael and the Holy One of Israel, they're going to be yagilu, full of joy that they trusted in God. He ofes oretz v'chol oleitz, because all of the riches is going to stop. V'nichrisu kol shoktei oven, all those that are stuck on sin, that they shoktei oven are like people. It's like there's people who make a shit out of sin. There's people who sin, people who do things that they know are wrong, and then there's people who make a whole shit out of it. Like the Romans made a whole shit out of it. Hedonism. They made a shita that the way they do things is the way it's meant to be. All of those that fool people with words, which is the Nevi Sheker, it's all going to fall apart. And here is the great joy that Yaakov is going to have with the returnees, with the Balei Tshuva. Lochen koyomer Hashem el beis Yaakov asher podo es Avram. Very, very famous psukim. The Alter Rebbe talks about Chassidus. Yaakov asher podo es Avram. Lo ato yoevosh Yaakov. He says, no, now's not the time. You're not going to have busha. You're not going to have bizyonis from your children. Lo ato ponov yechvaru. Your face won't have to turn white or red from embarrassment, from shock. Because when you're going to see, you're going to see the hands of Hashem in them. You're going to see that they are righteous. Yagdishu Shemi, that they're Magdish my name. V'gdishu es Kedosh Yisrael. And you're going to see how they're being Magdish Kedosh Yaakov as the case Yisrael Yaritzu Yadu Toyei Ruach, and all those who are Toyei Ruach, who have blundered in spirit. Bina, they'll get Bina, wisdom. They'll verstehen. They'll verstehen, that the Eibishter feet alles. V'roignem yilmedu lekach, and those who used to be complainers and bretches are going to yilmedu lekach. They're going to take Torah, they're going to take the message, they're going to elevate themselves, and it's going to be a good day and good times upon the Jewish people.